Hey everyone, and welcome back to a stock spotlight. That's what I'm going to be calling these. Today we're going to be talking about a big company, Microsoft. Is a stock I want to spotlight for many reasons. Definitely some good news came out today, and I just want to go over the company as a whole. So Microsoft's a company a lot of people will know, obviously. CEO Satya Nadella. Since 2014, February 2014, he has been CEO, and let's just say I have the 5-year chart pulled up here, and the stock is up 188.97% in the past 5 years, so that's exciting. I really want to spotlight more this past year here. So specifically, we're just going to go year to date. So year to date, stock's up around 37% right now. So what exactly is the reason for this? We'll go ahead and take a little look at it. Obviously, company founded by Bill Gates. Everyone knows good old Microsoft. But so Microsoft Corporation here, currently $138.52 a share. A big point of interest here, obviously, this market cap of $1 trillion. So Microsoft was the third ever company in the United States, behind Apple. Apple was number one. So, but Microsoft was the third company to reach $1 trillion in market cap, which is crazy. Think about that value. $1 trillion. This company's worth $1 trillion. Shoot, that just makes me... Oh, that's crazy. Current PE ratio of 27.38. Little rich. But tech stocks right now really are pretty rich in valuation anyways. Fair valuation for them is pretty difficult to actually judge. Forward PE of 23. Not bad as far as one of these tech stocks is concerned. So pretty decent value for the stock still as is. I think that's going to be improving, and I will show you why later. Give you a little bit of insight on some things. Obviously, good margin for this company. Microsoft makes a lot of money, and they have a lot of money on hand. So trailing 12-month revenue of $125 billion. That's insane. And profit of $82.9 billion trailing 12 months. They've made $82.9 billion. And you want to talk about absolutely printing money. That's printing money. Total cash on hand in the most recent quarter, $133.83 billion. I mean, they have so much money, it's crazy. And they're using it for something now, which is exciting for me. I don't know about you, but I can't wait. We'll get into it shortly. It's super exciting news, though. And another reason why I want to spotlight Microsoft is they're a company that pays a dividend. You know I love dividend-paying companies, and Microsoft pays one. Currently, their payout ratio is around 1.34. Not bad. Or their dividend yield. Did I say payout ratio? I don't know what I said. But their payout ratio, obviously, the amount of profit, the amount of money they make paid out, 35.57%. So that's nice. Not a high payout ratio by any means, but obviously only a 1.5% yielder is not super significant. And obviously, with 7.64 shares outstanding, that many shares outstanding, obviously, any dividend obviously is paying a lot of money out with that many shares. One thing to note here that I did want to point out, which you'll see with a lot of very much big majority of companies, and this is why really institutions really run the market. So if you look at this percent held by institutions, 75% of their shares outstanding are held by institutions, and 1.41% held by insiders. So that leaves 22%, 23%, if we're being fair here. 23% of the available stock out there is actually available for people like you and I. Which, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to buy $7 billion shares of Microsoft. I wish I did, though. I wish I could own the company. Richest man alive if I was. But just saying, just a good point to think whenever you're looking at these stocks. A lot of them are going to be, price is going to be controlled by buying or selling done by institutions, really. So that's always something to think about. A couple things to spotlight here. This is just the most recent quarter slides. Office commercial growth, cloud service revenue grew 14%. Office 365 revenue grew 31%, which is crazy. Their software business growing so well. Office consumer products up 6%. 365 subscribers increased to 34.8 million. So more Office 365 subscribers. And Office 365 is previously, back in the day, when you got Microsoft Office, such as your Windows, PowerPoint, Access, Database, all that lovely stuff, Excel, all those lovely programs, you would buy it for the lifetime of a computer. So you'd buy a one-time flat fee for the lifetime of the computer to have Microsoft Office, that is. So now they went ahead and are offering this Office 365, which, as that 365 implies, it's like a yearly subscription where you can get Office for a year for a flat rate as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be stuck on one device, I believe. It depends on what plan you get, but usually you're allowed up to a couple devices, and I think business plans obviously cost more per month, and you're allowed more devices on that business plan. So Office 365 is a really smart idea by them, really genius, and it is still growing. I love that. LinkedIn revenue grew 25%. That's crazy. You love to see double-digit growth anywhere you can, especially LinkedIn. Engagement highlighted by LinkedIn sessions growth of 22%. So more people using LinkedIn. Gotta love it. LinkedIn's a great app if you don't use it. If you're looking for a job, I would suggest definitely making a LinkedIn profile. It's very good to make connections in the business world, so you have people you can contact. Just very smart, and you can put resumes on there and get to, get known that way in the world. Whatever business you try to get into, whatever field, you can go ahead and go for it. LinkedIn's a great app. I would suggest getting a LinkedIn account if you don't have one. Dynamics products, cloud services grew 12%. Dynamics 365 revenue grew of 45%. Crazy. Obviously, one of the main points here, which I find wild, server products and cloud services revenue grew 22%. Obviously fantastic. But Microsoft Azure growth of 64% growth. Are you kidding me? 64%. So I'm just spotlighting this quarter here, but if I went to any one of these quarters over the past 2 years, you're going to see this growth of 60 to 70% on Azure revenue for every one of those. 60 to 70% growth. It's such a rapidly growing aspect of their business, and it's pretty much all profit for them. There's a lot of money coming their way just due to this, and I'll get into a little bit more later regarding that. So Windows OEM revenue up 9%. Windows commercial products, cloud service revenue up 13%. Surface revenue, obviously Surface tablets, 14%. Surface tablets is the official tablets of the NFL, if you didn't know. So that's pretty exciting. It's the ones they always have on the sideline that they're always throwing, and they always stand up to it because, Microsoft makes it. Not bad. Search advertising revenue, excluding traffic acquisition costs, grew 9%. Gaming revenue declined, and Xbox software and services declined as well. Now, obviously, that's the one thing we see declining here. As far as that's concerned, gaming's really just taken a big hit this year, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. As far as like blockbuster games, there really hasn't been anything this year that's noteworthy. The only console that's actually growing on the year is the Nintendo Switch, and it's been the best seller for quite a while because it's got some big games on it. And they just came out with like Super Mario Maker 2. But if you think about just gaming in general, what has come out that's been driving people to buy consoles? Not really much. And we're kind of at a phase where we're in between consoles, where they're going to be releasing, obviously, the I forget what they've already named it, but obviously it was Project X or Project Scorpio originally. It'll be interesting to see. But the newest Xbox, we're going to see that come out. Obviously, these consoles are just getting more and more like computers at this point. So we're going to have the PlayStation 5 come out, and Microsoft's competitor to it should be within a couple of years. So we're kind of in between. People aren't really buying new Xbox Ones just because most people have them already. It's hard to grow sales like that unless you have specific games that are pushing it. As far as like Xbox exclusives, there hasn't really been anything significant to drive people to buy Xbox specifically. But obviously they want to have an increase in their software revenue still, so it's kind of disappointing that they saw a decrease there. Obviously, this is stuff like Xbox Live subscriptions. Obviously, they got to see a way to increase that if they can. So let's get into a couple of the news points why I want to go ahead and spotlight this stock. Obviously, the major point that came out today, Microsoft hikes their dividend and approved a buyback plan of $40 billion worth of stock. That is absolutely wild. So if you weren't sure about what exactly buyback means, it's simply just the company purchasing their stock, so there's less shares outstanding. There's several reasons for this, and as I said, I would get into it now. So as far as that PE ratio is concerned, that's based off of that the earnings per share, correct? So when there's less shares outstanding, your earnings per share is going to increase if you keep that same in terms of what you're actually earning. So as far as your revenue is concerned, that's pretty exciting. Am I right? So the money they're making, if it stays consistent and they execute on this $40 billion buyback program, their EPS is going to go up pretty significantly. And that's why a lot of companies have been doing buyback programs, and we've kind of been in a stale period of that. Whenever we had that tax cut in 2017 for businesses, pretty much every company was doing these buyback programs, and a lot of them have expired by now. They've bought back the shares they wanted. Microsoft's the first company I've seen recently to announce a significant buyback plan like this, and it is a very significant one, $40 billion worth of stock. That's crazy, and it's going to help their EPS significantly. So stock's obviously going to go up pretty well because of this next quarter. Not sure when they're going to execute these sales, but we'll entirely see. So it could be this quarter, it could be next quarter. I don't know the timing of it. We'll entirely see. Another major point there, another thing giving back to shareholders, they rose their dividend 11%, which is a very, very significant increase to 51 cents a share. So that now means they are yielding somewhere around 1.5% instead of that 1.3% as previously stated. So pretty exciting for them. Just huge news for the company because this is just a sign of major growth where a lot of people are concerned about, economic slowing, any issues as far as trade war. This is a fantastic sign that a company here is absolutely killing it. If they're able to just spend $40 billion and increase how much they're paying shareholders, it's a great sign for the company. So obviously, I'm already pretty heavily invested in Microsoft, and I'm definitely going to keep at it for several reasons too. There's a couple things going for them. News today as well. Microsoft's GitHub acquires a startup that is creating a code analysis platform for securing software. GitHub plans to make Semmel's code analysis engine available across both public and enterprise repositories through the GitHub Actions tool. So GitHub is a sourcing tool, lets people code. Very exciting. Obviously, their purchase of GitHub, it could mean a lot more revenue for them in the future if it's successful, and I think it will be. Terms weren't disclosed here, but that's pretty exciting for them. GitHub's making acquisitions as well, so they're growing that business under Microsoft. It's just lovely. We also have Oracle and Microsoft teaming up. So Oracle's new AI-trained voice-activated digital assistant and Microsoft Teams announced the availability of an integration that allows enterprise customers to access Oracle Cloud applications through Teams. So that's pretty exciting. Two big companies, Oracle and Microsoft, teaming up to go ahead and just provide better service for their customers. Just really cool in that aspect. It's beneficial for both businesses, so really cool to see that joint effort together. And honestly, they're doing a lot of things right now. Microsoft's just doing a lot of things, as you can see. So Microsoft and Disney make a cloud deal. Microsoft and Walt Disney Studios, or the Walt Disney Company, will join Disney's Studio Lab Tech Hub with Azure platform to deliver cloud-based solutions for production and post-production processes. It's a 5-year deal. Expands on the several existing media workflows the companies have built on the back of Microsoft's strategic cloud analysis alliance with creative tools specialist Avid. Collab will initially focus on moving some of Disney's editing to cloud. So obviously editing as far as Disney's new streaming service for their original content, as well as movies they produce. Walt Disney CTO tells Variety the company selected Microsoft because other cloud competitors weren't as focused on the media space. So, honestly, if you think about it this way, if you're looking about who's got the absolute largest cloud service right now, it'll be Amazon Web Services, and there's no denying that in terms of scale. Amazon Web Services is quite a step ahead of everyone in terms of the business they do. So the fact that Disney chose Microsoft, I mean, obviously it could be taken as a fact that Amazon obviously is not going to be helping Disney in their streaming service efforts, so I could see them not wanting to collaborate, but the fact that Microsoft is in on this is just a very good sign for Microsoft, and Disney's got plenty of money, and I think it's going to be a very beneficial partnership. It's going to bring in a lot of money for both, so very exciting, very exciting. And finally, one more major note I want to bring about this stock is that, well, you know what? There's a $7.6 billion contract that the Pentagon has right now that is waiting on the two finalists, those being Amazon and Microsoft, to see who wins it. So this is going to be a Pentagon cloud contract, $7.6 billion. Wow. That's wild. So we'll see who the heck goes ahead and wins this out, whether it be Microsoft or Amazon. Obviously, if this helps at all, obviously Mr. Donald Trumpy, I didn't like Amazon. That's my impression of him right there. He's not a huge fan of Amazon. If he has any say in this, I think Microsoft's going to end up winning this with Azure, and they're going to be taking home $7.6 billion, and it's going to be very beneficial for him. Regardless, it's just good name recognition for him. So I'm super excited for this to see how this comes out. I see this stock definitely going to see a lot of gains here in the coming months. So if you're not in, I think it's a good stock to invest in, and I wanted to spotlight it here today. So if you enjoyed, go ahead and let me know. Thank you.